Is it true that real estate commissions are going to drop and values are going to go down? It's 2 weeks into the NAR settlement.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
We are going to run through the numbers on a house we have listed for sale right now with 16 offers. We're going to show you exactly what's going on with real estate commissions and ultimately how much the seller is going to net. No, don't run and hide. I know I'm throwing a bunch of numbers at you. I know some of the people who watch this channel love numbers, and others of you who do not like numbers, but don't be scared. Not going to ask you to do any math. Just going to demonstrate what is going on so far with the NAR settlement. So this is a property I have listed in Santa Ana. It is a fixer. We listed it for $849,000. Now, bear in mind that the median home price in Orange County is currently around $1.2 million. So this is considered a first-time home buyer, maybe a move-up home buyer, but needs a ton of work. And we have 16 offers right now. We're expecting more. And you're probably saying, well, why do you have so many darn offers? This is a proprietary system we have that we use with clients in order to get the property bid up and make sure they squeeze every bit of value out of the property. We're going to do more videos on that. But this is important because it's brand new and it's demonstrating what the NAR settlement is already doing with properties. So the different columns here, we're not going to look at all of them going forward. I just want to show you the amount. That's the price. We've got the deposit. We've already counted on that. Escrow length, counted on that. Cash or financing. So it's a mix of cash offers. There's some question marks. He didn't mark what he was doing, cash or financing. Proof of funds, pre-approval, etc. New column in yellow we just added because we're in a whole new world, and this is concession amount. And what does that mean? Well, this is what the buyer is asking for the seller to pay their agent. And you can see it runs across the gamut. So we got 1% up to 2.5%, a couple of NAs. Now, at least one of these NAs is somebody who said, no, I don't need any commission in the deal. A couple of the others just forgot the form. So we have to put NA, and we're gonna figure that out later, what the actual amount is that they want. Agents, buyers, sellers, the entire nation, everybody's still trying to figure out exactly how to implement this and use the new paperwork. All right, so this is before the NAR settlement, back in those crazy days when there'd be one commission that was charged to the seller, and that would be split between the listing agent and the buyer's agent. Did you know the buyer's agent is actually called the selling agent? Most people get that wrong, but they're the ones that actually sell the deal, so they're called seller's agent. What we're reflecting here is what it would have been with a 2.5% commission going to the buyer's agent. This is the net sales price after commission. The offer amount minus that 2.5%. Of course, there's other closing costs. There's the listing agent fee and escrow title and whatever fees you have in your area, transfer taxes, etc. This is just looking at the commission to the buyer's agent. This is what it looked like, and everybody was on the same playing field. I'm going to show you how dramatically things are changing already 2 weeks into this. So what this is it includes the concession amount, so the amount of money that the buyer has decided to ask the seller to give to them. And in these cases, it's going to go to the agent. It doesn't always necessarily have to go to the agent. That's money the buyer could use for whatever. And it's varying amounts like we showed you before. We don't know for sure if this is the only amount that the buyer's agent is getting. The buyer's agent may be charging something to the buyer as well. So you can see somebody has 1% here. So maybe they're going to get another 1% directly from the buyer. We don't know, and we wouldn't necessarily know until we saw it on an escrow statement if it was done through escrow. What you can see here, we show you the net sales price after that commission, that concession amount, and they're different numbers in the sense that there's different percentages coming off. So what you can see here for offer number one, because there isn't any commission going to the buyer's side, that is an extra $21,425 that would go into the seller's pocket because they're not paying a 2.5% commission to the buyer's agent. So it's important when we're comparing offers that now we look at the net amount after whatever concessions are looked at. But at the end of the day, and you can see that in some cases there's just no savings because the buyer's side is asking for the 2.5 that would have been paid previously. And in other cases, it's a smaller amount, like 21.23, because it's 2.25, so slightly lower. But this is not how a seller chooses the offer that they're ultimately going to open escrow with. They don't look at how little the commission is. What they're going to look at is this. So what we've done is we've sorted the offers not by the amount that the buyer is offering, but we've sorted it by the net amount after that concession from the seller is factored in. That's the number that matters, the net amount that goes to the seller. And the seller, at the end of the day, assuming all things are equal, all the rest of the terms are good terms for the seller, and we help them figure that out. This highest offer, offer number 15 at $925 with a 2% concession amount, would be the highest offer for the property and the one that the most logical seller would pick. So it doesn't matter here that that buyer is still asking for 2% as compared to this offer down here where they're not asking for everything. At the end of the day, it's the net that matters. And this is the adjustment, again, that we are going to have to make as listing agents so that sellers understand the highest offer. Because you could see here that if a 926 offer came in, but that buyer was requesting 2.5%, that is a lower net offer than the 925. So again, the net is what matters. Now this last column here where I say net extra, what this is this is a reflection of the difference in what they would have paid before. So the 2.5% that the seller would have paid in the old method versus what they're paying now. So because offer number 15, that buy side is only asking for 2%, the seller is actually walking off with an additional 0.5%. So you can see in some cases there's no change if they're still asking for 2.5. But in this case, if the seller moves forward with this offer, they're actually going to net an extra $4,625 under the new system that they wouldn't have net before. So there's already more money going into sellers' pockets. Now, what's important to understand is what I didn't say is a price reduction. Offers are coming in. We've still created a bidding war. The offers are continuing to push up the value, and the seller is not reducing their price because of these lower concession amounts. They're just netting more money at the end of the day, which isn't a terrible thing. I'm about to sell my own home and can't wait to share how that works out as well. I hope all this made sense. I know I went through a ton of numbers. This is what we're already seeing, a change in the net to the seller. And we'll have to see how it shakes out for buyers and what buyers end up paying agents as well. Don't even think about selling your home without reaching out first to discuss our proprietary system to squeeze out every bit of equity you have. We have more updates like this coming, so subscribe to our free weekly email newsletter. Next thing you need to know is in this video right here or here. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates, and we can't wait to hear from you.